Yo, what's going on? It's Dat Boy Frail. Welcome back to another video. Now, today's video, we're doing another versus battle, as you can tell on the channel. But today, we're not by ourselves. We got my good man, Lightning Snow, here with us. Say what's up, man.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. It's my very first time on being on somebody else's channel. It feels pretty good.
Yeah, so today we got an interesting versus battle for you guys today. We got a versus battle of Tobirama versus Orochimaru. Now, originally, we were talking about this and, we had our mind kind of sort of set on someone. But as we were talking and going over a lot of stuff, this fight is a lot better than we both expected. I'm going to be honest here. It's definitely a really interesting one. So, what we were going to talk about first is, first off, to start off everything, we were talking about it, and basically, reanimation is going to make this fight like really, really difficult to go over. It's going to change way too much. So, yeah, we just said, yeah, we're going to throw that out the window. We're just going to go alive Tobirama versus, for the most part, we're going to be talking about end of series Orochimaru. We'll talk about part one. We'll talk about early Shippuden, but for the most part, we're going to be talking about end of Shippuden Orochimaru. So,
Yeah.
you wanna start us off talking about just both character speeds and jutsu, and then we'll get into some more.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing is like, I've said this before in one of my videos in the past is like, Tobirama is at the very least comparable to Minato in his speed. Like, yes, Minato is faster, but you definitely cannot downplay Tobirama's speed whatsoever.
Oh yeah, no question.
And he's able to avoid attack from Madara. And granted, Madara was able to instantly react to Tobirama, but you still can't discount that. But again, like Tobirama, is physically stronger than Minato, and probably has more chakra too. If I had to take a wild guess, and so I mean he's definitely
arsenal.
Yeah, and like Tobirama is definitely someone you don't want to go toe to toe with. It's just that Orochimaru, on the other hand, has like so many unorthodox like jutsu and abilities to where it just makes him so hard to kill anytime you go up against them. Like literally everyone who's fought him, including Sasuke, hasn't actually been able to fully kill him.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, yeah, Itachi, Sasuke have been able to like quote defeat him where like he can't fight back, but at the same time it's like be able to kill Orochimaru is a completely different story.
Yeah,
so
people like to downplay Orochimaru for some reason. I don't know why. Like even in my ranking Akatsuki's video, like if I included Orochimaru in that anyways, even though he didn't do too much, but like he's still a high character on that list. Like he's not he's not in the top 3, but
I mean, he's one of the legendary 3 Sannin for a reason. So, I mean, and the thing is, like, with Orochimaru, he's kind of like a double-edged sword if you think about it. Because, like, like for someone like Itachi or Sasuke, like he can't beat them. He can't beat them, but like they also can't. I guess
be hard to
kill him. Yeah, it just sucks because like you have a loser that's coming back time after time after time after time, and so it's like you feel safe. Because he can't beat you, but at the same time, it's like he's gonna come back every time. So
like he survived a Reaper Death Seal from one of the stronger Kages, and this is the same Reaper Death Seal used by Minato to seal the whole Nine Tails away in Naruto and himself. And so it's like,
I mean, granted that was an older Hiruzen, but
it was definitely an older Hiruzen. So and then they were both more evenly matched than anything.
Yeah, I mean, you still can't discount that. Well, that's the thing though. It's like. That's something else we can use is that like a point of reference. And again, this is part 1 statement, and part 1 statements kind of get retconned like more so than I like to even admit. But Orochimaru stated that like if Hiruzen had been 10 years younger, that Orochimaru probably would have lost.
Yeah, I think I remember that statement as well.
I guess you can interpret it a bunch of different ways because in the anime, if I'm not mistaken, he says you might have been able to succeed. You were perhaps 10 years younger. The manga, I think, is a little bit more concrete. Like, hey, like if you were 10 years younger, you probably would have been able to kill me.
Yeah.
And so, like, it's kind of weird to interpret that. And so, like, Orochimaru, while he said that, it still kind of seems like, there's a possibility that Orochimaru felt like he could have succeeded, even if Hiruzen was 10 years younger. So, um,
yeah, and yeah, you go ahead.
well, I was just gonna say because like Tobirama like is still, you know,
Yeah,
even 10 years younger than Hiruzen. I still think Tobirama would be stronger
yeah,
than Hiruzen and probably better because he still
yeah,
has
same.
flying Raijin over Hiruzen, and
Mm-hmm.
um,
And then
so I mean it's one of those things where like because I typically don't like to like power scale in Naruto characters because it's not like
yeah,
Dragon Ball where if this character can beat this character, then that character should be able to beat that character.
yeah,
It's just one of those. It's really more complicated than that. But with
yeah. It's
Orochimaru, it's
definitely not a
like we
big
said,
loop like how
he's
Dragon Ball is.
yeah. Well, listen, though, with Orochimaru, it's just one of those things where it's like he's just so like hard to kill. Like no matter what you do,
Yeah, and then he has so
um,
much.
he and that's
It's
the thing. He has so much that we haven't even seen. Like we said
exactly.
before we
We
started
only
recording.
seen like probably like barely a handful of his moves and just power altogether. Like the one
He's
fight
like
we got him.
Kakashi in that regard because like
Yep.
Kakashi has copied over 1,000 jutsu, but we've only seen maybe 10 from
Yeah.
Kakashi.
At
So
most.
yeah. So I've gone on enough. Like what would you think about Orochimaru's like ability?
Orochimaru just all around, even depending on which one we take, he's so versatile. And even though Tobirama's versatile as well, we gotta remember that Orochimaru literally left the Leaf Village for 13 years to go out and study all type of jutsus. So this man has so much in his sleeve, up his sleeve. He has his summoning jutsus, being Manda and the Rashomon shields, the ones that Hashirama was able to use.
Hmm.
He has all his White Snake moves. He has his Kusanagi sword. He has a lot for him. And then, he's a good wind style user. As much as we know, he probably is. He might even be a master of all 5 chakra nations. We probably just don't know, because he didn't show anything other than wind style.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, being that Orochimaru's like top student,
mhm,
I wouldn't I wouldn't be surprised if he knew at least all five, at least
yeah,
some jutsu in all areas of chakra nature. So I and that's the thing is like I forgot about the summoning. Like Tobirama does not have a summoning jutsu
yeah,
that I've
not that
seen.
we know of. He does not have
So
nothing.
so that would definitely be a big. That's the thing is like Orochimaru is able to not just summon Manda, but like there's like 3
Yeah.
giant mini snakes too that they're not as big or powerful as Manda, but they're still like a trouble to deal with.
And then he has
So
that move that he used on Four Tails Naruto, where he covered that entire field with snakes. I can't remember what the name of it was,
yeah,
but yeah, like stuff like that for Orochimaru is just so clutch for him.
and that's the
Because
thing is like if Tobirama was able to teleport freely like Minato does all the
yeah,
time, I'd be more apt to give it to him because from what I've seen, flying Raijin doesn't really cost too much chakra, if
mhm,
barely any.
yeah,
So like that's why I feel like Minato is able to use it so endlessly. But Tobirama just seems like he doesn't because I don't really see him use flying Raijin as much as Minato does.
and also
Um,
Minato just used his flying Raijin kind of in a smarter way, being that he just threw seals on a whole bunch of kunai which he carried around. While Tobirama, we seen him when he killed Madara's brother, he threw it on a kunai. But for like the most part, when Tobirama was using it, like even in the war, he was having to like put seals on someone, or it was maybe a kunai I might have missed, but for the most part, I just seen him trying to put seals on people, while Minato just had them like everywhere.
that's also a fair point to use though. If Tobirama is able to mark Orochimaru, then by
Yeah.
all means, I feel like
Then
because as strong and as like capable as Orochimaru is, I don't really ever see him having too many speed feats. So,
yeah, he doesn't.
um, I I would definitely think that if Tobirama is able to mark Orochimaru at any point during the fight,
Hmm.
then again, by all means, he could probably just teleport right behind him and cut his throat. But
Yeah.
again, like it's just if we're talking about like end of series Orochimaru can
Phew.
just heal
Oh my god,
like
he's
almost immediately.
so like we were talking about in the series Orochimaru. Oh, by the way, before we even knock this out of the way, we agreed that part 1 without the reanimation, Tobirama would probably win, and early Shippuden with him having with Orochimaru having no arms, Tobirama would probably still win. But at the end of the series, bro, we were talking about this. Orochimaru is actually kind of a lot more cracked than we both thought. Because when we were talking about it, we brought up the fact that he absorbed Kabuto, and we completely forgot that Kabuto was like a perfect sage. Well, was he a perfect sage? I guess you could say.
Yeah, he was perfect sage. He transformed from a snake to a dragon in his own words.
And freaking Orochimaru just absorbed that. So now Orochimaru has Sage mode, Hashirama cells from Kabuto, all his cracked jutsu.
Something I didn't think about too, and I don't know if I want to give this to him because we didn't see him using it after he absorbed Kabuto. But if we go off the assumption and say that no, because he didn't absorb everything from Kabuto.
Yeah, he didn't absorb everything.
Never mind. I was gonna say something like I think he can still use like all the Sound 4 abilities that Kabuto did. But no, I don't think he did. I don't know. That was my mistake. I don't think he absorbed everything from Kabuto.
Yeah, I want to say he absorbed like most of his power back because Kabuto did take some of Orochimaru's power, and I want to say he took some of like all his power back, and then some of Kabuto's on top of that. And since Kabuto was already in Sage mode, it makes sense that Orochimaru kind of took some of it.
But still, like even still, like that's Orochimaru with his arms back and his like added chakra and strength.
So it's actually like, cause at first, without this whole Sage mode thing, without the added chakra and just the added senses and all the good things that come with Sage mode, this is a really difficult fight to talk over. But when you think about that, then just like Lightning said, even if Tobirama was to come behind him with like the Hashirama cells, and as weird as Orochimaru is and how slithery he is, he probably could either evade it somehow, some way, or just regenerate it. He's like such a weird character to talk about when it comes to like actually killing him.
Yeah, because like as far as because like Orochimaru, but Tobirama doesn't really have any like a whole lot of one shots. Like abilities. So I'm trying to think of like something that he could, because like a water style is not going to freaking work. And I guess you could use, if we're going out the assumption that Tobirama knows like all 5 nature transformations too, then like, I mean, maybe he has something in his arsenal that could one-shot him if he teleports behind him. But if we're going off the assumption of the feats that we've seen in like the war and whatnot, then like, I can't really see. Well, okay. This might seem like giving Tobirama's water style too much credit, but if you remember, when Naruto was getting caught up by the Divine Tree, Tobirama was slicing through
his
those,
water
like,
style.
branches.
That spearing jutsu, that thing is pretty like it's pretty thin.
It's slicing. It's a sharp jutsu. So like maybe that can do some damage.
And
I don't want to give Tobirama too much credit.
We seen Kakashi when fighting Kakuzu. Oh, that big old puddle of water that was in between Kakuzu. If Tobirama somehow just uses lightning on his water, I don't know if that can enhance something. That can definitely come into play if he just uses it right. Because
now, granted, that's if you guys want to give lightning style to Tobirama.
Yeah, if we want to give it.
If people want to go off the feats that we've seen, which and typically in versus battle videos, I kind of want to do just because people will. Every now and then you'll get people in the comment section just being like, well, we don't ever see this person use that.
Exactly. We didn't see them do that, so how can we assume? When was it stated? So it's like you do better just going off what we've seen. So even if he only has water style,
I mean, granted, it's very impressive water style, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I still I'll let you go into the conclusion. I don't really want to say first what I think. This is your videos. I'd rather like you.
Yeah, but freak me, it's all good. But yeah, like Orochimaru at this point in time, like if we're going off what we've seen and just the flat out feats of Tobirama, even though his water style is impressive, like we've stated, it is so hard for you to doubt Orochimaru with all the things we've stated and all the things he has with his summoning jutsus. Like we stated earlier, it's so hard for Tobirama to deal with that. Considering the fact we don't know if he has any summoning, which we can just safely say he doesn't, because if we're going to go off straight feats, he doesn't have a summoning jutsu. He doesn't have really any one-shot moves except for Flying Raijin if it does land, But the only reason it landed beforehand, like on Madara's brother, is because there was a smoke screen in between both of them. So, something like that might not happen because if we're going off what both of these fighters have, neither one of them would have fire style, and Tobirama wouldn't need to cancel out with water style, so there wouldn't be a big smoke in the area that that
Well,
would come up.
not only that, but like if they say Tobirama gets Orochimaru with the flying Raijin slash like he did with Izuna, then I mean I don't think that's going to be too much for Orochimaru to just regenerate.
Yep.
Because even if we don't give him like at the very least, like say like if we're trying to give Tobirama the benefit of the doubt and say like Orochimaru doesn't have healing as compared to like Hashirama or like maybe even Kabuto, still like Orochimaru's been able to tank like hits like that before, and it's like I can't really see
smacked around by Naruto. Like when Naruto was throwing some pretty vicious blows.
Yeah, so I mean
it's bad for Tobirama. But even then, like just to show like how the Hashirama cells can really work, we gotta remember that Obito, granted he has more than Orochimaru, took a lightning blade to the chest and was like, I mean, I wouldn't say he was fine, but he didn't die right then and there. Like, and when Madara checked him, he didn't have a heart anymore. I don't even know how that happened. I don't even know how that makes sense. But like that just shows you what the Hashirama cells can help you do. Like they can really help you survive some life or death situations.
Yeah, that's another thing too, is that like one of the things like it's kind of like I've never seen Orochimaru run out of chakra.
Yeah, me neither.
I've never seen, and Tobirama's a senju, so a lot of the times like they have extreme amount of chakra reserves.
Definitely.
So.
And yeah, like it's really hard for us to sit here and give this to Tobirama with all the stuff we've stated with Orochimaru. So like I think it's honestly safe to say that like end of Shippuden, Orochimaru takes out Tobirama. You could say Tobirama takes out Orochimaru before that, not including the reanimation, because we include the reanimation. We were talking about this. Orochimaru at the end of the season, but at the end of the series, just has superior reanimations, and it's just not gonna go well in Tobirama's favor. So yeah,
I mean, at the very least, it's gonna be a battle of zombies that's just gonna be very convoluted and complicated, and it's just easier to take that scenario out, I think.
Yeah, it's way easier to take that out. But yeah.
So in conclusion, what would you say?
In conclusion, I would say that Orochimaru wins this. Really, honestly, like if we're talking end of the series, I'm gonna give Orochimaru like honestly like 5 out of 10 difficulty. He has Tobirama beat and versatility, just healing wise, and just probably like debatably how strong White Snake Sage Mode is. He might have him kind of beat in physical strength if it's the same as Toad Sage. So yeah, that's probably my final conclusion on it.
Personally, to me, I was gonna say like maybe an 8 out of 10. Orochimaru would take it.
Yeah, I might have downplayed him.
Like not because I don't want to downplay Tobirama, but it's just like Orochimaru is so hard to kill, whereas like Tobirama, and again, I don't mean to say this in a mean way, but like Tobirama was killed by Kinkaku and Ginkaku, and like.
Granted, they were some top level fighters for that time, and I believe they did have like a crew with them. So
no, that's true. I just I don't like. My point is like Orochimaru has way more durability. It seems like than Tobirama does.
Yeah.
So it's like even though Tobirama is probably physically stronger than Orochimaru, but it's like in physical strength alone, maybe his durability is not as good as Orochimaru's. So that's all my point is. Like it's hard to kill Orochimaru, and yet at the same time it's easy to kill Tobirama.
Yeah.
So,
I can definitely agree.
That's my point.
Yeah. We can really end on that note right there. I feel like that solidifies that argument right there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please be sure to go down there, hit the like button, and subscribe if you haven't already. And while you're down there, go look in the description. Go sub to my boy Lightning Snow. He makes great versus battles just as well as I do. We both making top tier content. We on that Swag Kage Seth type level. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't think I'm there yet. But,
yeah, all jokes aside, please go show my boy some love. He makes great videos. And with all that out the way, I'll see you guys in the next video.